If your goal is to do this, then keep watching. Hey guys, my name is Zach Ferguson, and this channel is all about helping you guys reach your tricking goals. I may not be the best tricker, but hopefully my experience can help you guys become the best. This is a tutorial for a master scoot. Back when I started, a master scoot wasn't really a thing. There was scoot that you did on one hand, and then if you were a noob, you would do a two-handed scoot, but it wasn't really a master scoot even when people did that, at least from what I saw. I knew a master swipe because I learned that from Juji, and the first person that I saw do an actual master scoot was Andy R. Shout out to Andy R. But essentially it was mind-blowing to me because I was like, whoa, I've been doing scoots and I've been doing master swipes for years, but I just never thought about combining them. But the difference between just a two-handed scoot and a master scoot is that you jump over your left leg when you do it, just like you were gonna do a master swipe, and then you catch in your hands and then push off and land on your left leg and swing or pop or vanish like a normal scoot. As time has gone on, it's kind of become accepted to do this off of a knee, but when I started, that was like taboo because it would just basically be a two-handed scoot. However, it's definitely acceptable because of people like Brendan Morrison popularizing it off of one leg. Essentially, as long as you are reaching backwards and diagonal instead of just doing it forward like a two-handed scoot, then you are doing a master scoot. So I'm gonna teach it those two ways. I personally prefer to jump over my leg and backwards because I think it looks cooler and I like doing hook kick into it, but a lot of people find that super awkward but still want to do master scoot, so you can do a master scoot off your knee also. But let's go ahead and get started with the quick tutorial. All right, so what is a master scoot? A master scoot is essentially what I said before, just jumping over your leg like you're going to do a master swipe and landing on your hands and doing a scoot, or taking off of your knee and doing a two-handed scoot. Either way, essentially it's just a big two-handed scoot with arguably more power than a regular scoot. All right, so let's jump into method number one for master scoot. What I'd recommend is starting it from a Makako. If you need to learn a Makako, it's right there. Or if you know how to do a master swipe already, you can just alter it into your master scoot.
If you have a master swipe, just switch legs.
So exactly like we did in master swipe, we're gonna take it down to the floor, then start on one leg with your left leg out in front of you, look to the side, plant your left hand, and do a Makako off of your right leg, landing on your left leg to end. And you basically got a master scoot right there. Good job. But that's not very usable. So let's do the same thing we did for master swipe. Start in a crouched position with your left leg out in front of you, and then do that same thing. Jump off of your right leg, don't let your left leg touch the ground, and then do your whole motion, and then at the end, let your left leg touch the ground and land like a normal scoot, making sure to eagle at the end as much as you can. Then you can do it from a pistol squat, just like on the master swipe. So start from standing, you can squat down, touch the ground, and then reach over and over again, just practicing that motion so that you know that you are ready for it. And then all you're gonna do is the same thing, pistol squat down, touch the left hand, look backwards where you wanna go, and then touch your right hand and your left leg, finishing in eagle position. Make sure when you do the pistol squat motion that you are pushing only backwards, because if you push too sideways, you can really hurt your knee, so be careful of that. From here is where it kind of differs from master swipe. You can do the walking forward method into your master scoot, and personally I do that sometimes, but it tends to introduce a lot of twisting momentum, which kind of messes up the whole scoot process and doesn't really make it like linear with your momentum. So if you're gonna do something like maybe a vanish, you can do a step forward into your master scoot, but I personally wouldn't recommend it that much. What I'd personally recommend from here is swinging your leg like your master swipe, but getting as low as possible. So essentially you're gonna stand there and then you're going to look at where you wanna land, and you sort of do your swing forward like your master swipe, and you do your pistol squat at the same time, but as soon as you start to bend down for your pistol squat, you reach backwards and you jump backwards with that motion. That way you get relatively low to the ground, so there's not a ton of impact, but you still are doing the master scoot because you're jumping backwards and left over that left leg and then catching and doing the scoot with two hands. If you can get this down, then you got a good master scoot. What I'd recommend after that is doing it out of a setup. So you might want to start with cartwheel. Personally, I started with a hook kick because that's what everyone did at the time, and I think that it is extremely important to learn how to do this out of a hook kick, but I would maybe start with cartwheel because you'll get the feeling faster, and then you can move that into a hook kick. But I'll briefly show you both of these. So if you're doing it out of a cartwheel, all you gotta do is lean with the motion backwards, let that left leg come off the ground, and keep your eyes on the ground, and you'll naturally do your master scoot if you already know how to do a master scoot from these previous methods or these previous steps. Just do a cartwheel, make sure you miss that leg, and then spot the ground and catch on your hands, and you'll automatically either do a master swipe or a master scoot. Guaranteed. If you can't, you're either touching the ground with your left leg or you're just holding back because you're too scared, which is okay. I'm not here to bully you. I'm just, saying that if you can't do it, then, maybe you need to practice it a little bit more. But then, once you've got that, I would recommend doing it out of a hook kick. So for a hook kick, what you specifically want to do is do your hook kick and then stop your motion with your chest still over your right leg if you twist to your left. And then from there, you jump backwards with that momentum of your hook kick and swing that left leg back to the front and reach backwards, catch in your hands, and do your master scoot. This can be very confusing if you don't have a good hook kick, or if you think a hook kick is a crescent kick. That's something that, stopped me for a while because I legit didn't know the difference between a crescent kick and a hook kick for like 4 years into tricking, at least. So remember, when you hook kick, you are kicking almost sideways and backwards, and you're leading with your heel, and your bottom foot, your pivoting foot, is stationary and it's kind of pointing its heel at your target. I promise I will make a hook kick tutorial, even though my hook kick's not very good. But for now, just watch what I'm doing, hook kick, and then kind of lower your weight and do that same thing that we did with the standing method. You just never touch your left leg on the ground. And then once you have that, you have two of the best methods for comboing your master scoot. The other method that I recommend is by turning your scoot into a master scoot. So if you don't know how to scoot, go watch my scoot tutorial and then come back. And if you do know how to scoot, let's get started. So make sure you have a pretty solid scoot with a good eagle. Go ahead and start this on your knee. And then all you're gonna do is a scoot, but make sure you touch your right hand on the ground before you touch your left leg on the ground. Nothing different happens at this stage other than that. Then we're gonna use the clock face method from my macaco tutorial. All you're gonna do is gradually change where you place your hands over and over again, slowly going around the clock face or the circle until you can go backwards to the angle that we did for our macacos or the master scoot of the last method. And then from there, that is a commonly accepted master scoot from today's standards. You can just do it off your knee and reach backwards, and then it kind of creates this master scoot motion because you jump off of your right leg and get a little bit of air time right before your left hand touches. So it's not so much of a just two-handed scoot, and there's a little bit of a jump with the same motion. However, I personally recommend doing it with a jump. But what you can do is progress up to standing from there, because then you're just in that same position that we started in, and you can start with your knee down and from like a lunge, and then you just go up to your foot, and then you reach backwards and jump, and it's the same thing that you did before. Common mistakes for master scoot are that you go forward into your master scoot as if you were doing a regular scoot. If you do that, it's just a two-handed scoot and it will not give you the same amount of momentum that you get from a master scoot, especially if you misleg that left leg and do a two-handed scoot forward. Most people just crumple up and they can't take the momentum, and it's just not gonna help you at all. Another thing is going too sideways and accidentally doing a master swipe. If you are doing that, then that means your hips are not opening and you're not arching like you should. You are actually reaching across and keeping your hips closed and swiping over with that right leg. If you are doing that, then just go back to the macaco and land it on your left leg a lot and get used to that feeling. And the third is that you keep hurting your hecking knee because you push it sideways instead of backwards. If you're hurting your right leg knee, then you are not pushing correctly. Just push backwards, look backwards at where you want to go, and stop hurting yourself. But that's about it, guys. I hope this video helped you get your master scoot or improve it. Please leave a comment down below if you have any more questions about it, or if there's anything else you'd like to see from me. Hit the like button if it was helpful to you, and please help me on my quest to 1,000 subs by subscribing down below. And until next time, please stay safe and healthy, and I'll see you later.